The Renaissance was a time of great change in Europe. Like many cities, Florence took the opportunity for architectural revival of ancient Greek and Roman styles. Emphasis on proportion, geometry, repetition of columns and arches, and other orders of elements. One of the building types that became popular in the Renaissance was the palazzo, or palace. Palazzos typically had a tripartite elevation with three levels, a decorated facade crowned with an elaborate cornice. These palaces were owned by wealthy merchants in the upper class. A few years after the Palazzo Medici was built, Giovanni Rucellai, a wealthy Roman merchant, approached Alberti, a famous architect, to design his own palace. It was built between 1446 and 1451 by the Italian sculptor and architect Bernardo Russellini. Alberti took the opportunity to emphasize the classical orders and elements of Rome in the facade. From the street level, the facade gave the impression of having only three stories. The building itself has four floors, being the ground level, the main, the second, and a fourth hidden floor. The palace's arches and entablatures are all Roman elements found in the Colosseum. The pilasters on each floor represent a different column: Doric on the ground, Ionic on the main, and Corinthian on the second. Each floor has a specific function. The ground floor was the family center of business. The main floor was for the guests, and the second floor, also known as the Piano Nobile, contains the family living quarters, and the final hidden floor was for the servants. The facade itself is much lighter compared to the Palazzo Medici. The polished ashlar is described to be more elegant and graceful compared to the heavy stone fortress-like facade of the Medici. Each level has its own string course and a decorative horizontal band separating from each floor from one another. The ground floor contains street benches on each side of the two main doors. The pilasters have a Tuscan order, a reinterpretation of the Doric order. The main floor pilasters is Alberti's take on the Ionic order. The double windows have an embossed frame and oculus in the center with the Rucellai family crest. The second floor has the shortest pilasters, based on the Corinthian style. It is the same style of windows from the previous floor and is crowned with extruding cornice to hide the last floor. Inside the palazzo is 8 distinct buildings that form the palace complex. These sections form a courtyard in the center. Looking in through the door, the courtyard gives the palace a sense of openness. The fresco vaulted ceiling contains mythological figures and motifs that can be seen within the courtyard. On the main floor, there are two sets of large windows on the north and south side, similar to the facade, and two sets of three smaller squarish windows on the east and west. The second floor, on the north and south, is a balcony looking into the courtyard. The loggia is located diagonally of the palace. It contains three round arches, or architraves, with Corinthian capitals and pilasters based on ancient Greek and Roman styles. This loggia is for public and private ceremonies for the Rucellai family, specifically for the marriage between the Rucellai and Medici family. Today it's a shoe store. Another unique palace was the Palazzo Strozzi. Filippo Strozzi the Elder was wealthy, so wealthy it rivaled the Medici. In response, the Medici took political power and exiled Strozzi in 1434. When the exile was lifted in 1466, Strozzi sought to have the largest and finest palazzo in Florence and resurrect his family's legacy. Over the next 20 years, Strozzi acquired land in the heart of Florence. Construction started in 1489 under the architect Benito de Maiano and Giuliano de Sangio and finished in 1538. The Palazzo Strozzi has a larger facade due to being a freestanding structure with four sides. The palace has similar elements to the Medici, such as the heavy masonry in the bifurcal windows. The stone facade becomes more refined in elevation. On the ground floor, the windows are more squarish, while the upper floors are more arched windows with semicircular crowns. Each side has its own arched portals leading into the courtyard. The courtyard, the crown jewel of the building, is enclosed by composite order arcades and round arches. There was careful consideration of symmetry, horizontally and vertically. The stairs are located in the north portal. The loggia is located on the second floor, overlooking the courtyard held by similar composite arcades. These palaces help shape Florence and help define the urban fabric of Renaissance architecture. Each one has its own tale, all sharing the history of Florence.